And bro, this went on for months.
I was like, let me take it.
This went on for the whole year, bro.
He's like, let me take it. I was like, let me take it home for tonight. He's like, all right, fine, but tomorrow. And then tomorrow came, and I gave it back to him, whatever. And then after that, like, I just had it for like a week, and then I would give it back to him one day, and I'd have it for like a month. And he's like, yo, my mom's getting mad.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Wave, the show for creatives and entrepreneurs who are treading water, simply just trying to make a wave in their industries.
Splash.
I am your host, Alex Franco, and I'm here with Dan the Man,
The co-host.
and Nico
The
Suave.
conspirator.
What's going on, guys?
And we're in a completely different location this time. We're testing out new strategies. We don't have a studio just yet, so we're kind of just.
Yeah.
I kind of like this.
Hey,
We
you
also
know
podcast on demand. Nobody
Yeah.
tells us where to record and when not to record. We're always strapped. I always got my camera bag and 4 podcasts.
How do you guys feel about the
Tripods
setup
with
though?
me.
I kind of like.
Yeah, I
kinda
like it a lot. Like it a lot. I mean,
like this.
humble beginnings, guys. Humble beginnings.
It's true.
Even
soon
though,
we'll have our studio.
Yeah, I mean, look at the picture from Jeff Bezos from like 1996, right? He
Yeah,
had like a
yeah.
crappy office.
Like a collection
like-
of post-it notes that just
it's like
says
a
Amazon
white-
on the back.
It's like a white piece of paper on the wall with like the name Amazon graffitied with like a nasty blue
Yeah,
paint on it.
yeah.
And he's just there with like a bunch of paperwork stacked up with a shitty computer.
That's an inspiring photo.
100%,
And this is
yeah.
where we're at now. This is our humble beginning. So you can say that we
Yep, for
are we
those
are
of you who
we
wanna
are
follow
ahead
the
of Jeff
journey.
Bezos right
If
now.
Apple started in a garage, we're in a living room right now. So I mean,
Yeah, it's true. We have a head start.
We do have a head start. We're blessed. All right,
Yeah.
so guys, today's topic that we're gonna bring to you is about the evolving market of marketing. Did I say that right? The
landscape?
evolution of the marketing landscape over the years, and we're gonna talk a lot about video marketing, which is what we specialize in at SevenSeas Media. We're a video marketing, content creation. Started off as a videographer, photographer, and we've kind of evolved and grown. The team is now 3 of us. Hopefully, we're going to be growing the next couple of months as well. But now we are offering full service content creation, marketing, Facebook ads, all of that stuff. So we want to bring to you a little bit of what goes into all of that, how you can modernize your business, level up, and take it to the next level so that you can just become trendy, stand out online. Just simply being able to stand out online, because
Right.
at the end of the day, before you sell anything, you have to first
Yeah.
capture people's attention.
Yeah.
So I want to start off with a question. Do you guys remember the first phone you ever got? That moment when you received your first cell phone. How old were you? What was going on through your head, and which phone was it? I'm curious.
Yeah, I got the Motorola Razr when I was 11, I think. That
You
was
got
my
the
first
Razr? You
ever
went
phone.
straight to the Razr?
I went straight to the Razr, my first phone ever when I was 11 years old. Yeah.
I feel like anybody that was born after 2000, like after the year 2000,
Yeah.
doesn't know that struggle that we went through.
went
with the
straight
flip
Yeah, I
phones.
think it was
Razr.
2005 or 2006 that I got the Razr. Yeah, 2005.
Wow, so you got your phone late.
Yeah.
My first phone was, we were at the mall. I think I was.
you got your.
I think I was
You were in
12.
2005 when you got your first phone.
Yeah, I was 11.
You're not.
I had
2000
strict parents.
2005 was 5th grade. I think
When
I
were you
think I
born,
remember
94?
4th grade. No, but there was no Razr in there was no
No.
Razr in 2005,
No?
There was
no,
no
the
Razr
Razrs came out in
2005.
like 2008.
more or less.
I
7.
No.
don't know what it was.
No.
Then. No.
Definitely not 2008.
I mean, like-
2008 was
earlier.
iPhone. 2008 was iPhone.
Yeah, dude, 2007 was the first iPhone.
2007.
I remember
was
2007. I
was
was
the first
I was
iPhone.
playing Papi Jump on
You
Ashley
may be
Clapper's.
right. You may be
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I was playing
the
Papi Jump on
Razr
Ashley
started
Clapper's
coming out.
iPhone.
The Razrs came
iPhone,
out in 2004,
iPhone 3G.
man. 2004, 2005, 2006. Those were the 3 big Razr years. And then between 2006 till about 2010, the BlackBerry was where it was at. Like the BlackBerry was huge
BBM.
for 4 years.
BBM was the first
The BlackBerry
social
Messenger
media.
was lit.
That's
that
what
was
was
where it was
popping.
at. Yeah.
2004 is when the Razr came out.
Yep.
So I remember my first phone. It was probably before that. Then I don't know. I don't remember how old I was, but I was legit. And we're just walking down the mall, and one of those guys from T-Mobile that are standing in one of the little islands comes up to my dad, and he's like,
Kiosk.
"Hey, we got a kiosk." I call it an island. He's like, "Hey, we got some specials going on," and I don't know. He was probably the best sales guy in the world, because my dad's not much of a,
Yeah.
he's a
He doesn't-
smart
he doesn't get
finance
swayed
guy.
over by
He doesn't get
just, like,
swayed. But
alright.
somehow this guy convinced my dad to get me a phone. And it was, I don't even remember what brand it was, but it was just like, it wasn't even a flip phone. It was just a brick like this, and the back was see-through. The back was see-through. So like it had interchangeable like things. You could put like a piece of paper. You can buy different things. But that phone lasted me like 2 weeks. 2 weeks because then my dad instantly regretted the decision.
Took that shit away.
And he returned it. And not till 2 years later, I got my first Nokia phone. But whole point of this, right?
I didn't get the answer.
You didn't get to answer? All right, tell us.
It's not important, I guess.
It is. We care about you, Dan.
I'm just the guy that fills the space in between the two talkers. No, my first phone was a flip phone. I think I didn't get into like 7th grade, and I know you have a really funny story about me and
oh my god,
me and Jed.
Dan used to bully this kid and steal his
That's
phone.
not true, man.
Day.
We were friends. He was just a pushover, super nice guy. And one day I asked him, I was like, hey, can I borrow your phone? And he said, yeah. I was like talking to this girl, but I didn't have a phone yet. So I like take whatever, use it. And then at the end of the day, he's like, can I have it back? And I was like, I don't know, man.
And bro, this went on for months.
I was like, let me take it.
This went on for the whole year, bro.
He's like, let me take it. I was like, let me take it home for tonight. He's like, all right, fine, but tomorrow. And then tomorrow came, and I gave it back to him, whatever. And then after that, like I just had it for like a week, and then I would give it back to him one day, and I'd have it for like a month. And he's like, yo, my mom's getting mad.
Bro,
so that was my first phone. My first phone wasn't even my phone.
Bro, you better buy this guy 10 phones when we make it.
My boy Jed
That's
Batumba
crazy.
call, man.
Great
Hey,
guy.
guys, don't take advantage of nice people, all right?
Definitely don't.
This is a wrong example for you guys right here.
He was my friend. He was just a better friend than I was.
Be nice to your friends, guys. Moral of the story. Anyway,
Always.
how does this relate to what we're talking about?
All right, so
Getting our first phones.
basically, we're talking about the evolution of, not just marketing, but technology overall. I still remember the days, a little bit after I got my first phone, MySpace. I know you guys remember MySpace. We went from a platform
That's when I was a coder.
Right, that you literally had to spend hours researching code, looking up design, simply just to update your profile. We went from that to Facebook, to Instagram, Twitter. Now we have TikTok. What else?
Yep.
You can name it.
Well, I mean, we have Instagram, obviously, which is not going anywhere for like the next 20 years, I would say.
We have
at least.
Robinhood, zero trade commission.
Right.
Zero commission trade. I mean.
Even these payment platforms.
Guys,
you
the
can
sponsor for
communicate.
the show happens to be. No, I'm just kidding. In the future, though.
Yeah, man. One day, God
In the
willing.
future.
But yeah, what do you think is what does this evolution have in common?
So times are changing quickly, and people are moving from one thing to the next, and things are transforming basically overnight. And
it's not until you look back and see the huge changes being made, but it's
100%.
day to day that those minor changes, those little steps forward are really strides in the long run.
Yeah, 100%. So you drive by a billboard, 100 out of, I haven't really paid attention to too many billboards, but out of 100 billboards that I've seen in the past couple years, I honestly can't remember. The only one I could remember was for an artist that I like, a Spanish singer that I like, Yandel, for the release of his new album. And I paid attention to it because I already knew the artist and I like the artist, but I don't pay attention to billboards, do you?
Nope.
Nobody pays attention to billboards, right?
I do.
Magazines. How many magazine subscriptions do you have? It's likely that they're probably digital, right? So how many, are you subscribed to any sort of magazine? Do you actually get a magazine delivered by mail to your house and you read through the physical copy of the magazine?
It's all fake news anyway.
And pay attention to the advertisements on the magazine? No, you don't. I mean, most people don't really pay attention to those advertisements, and these media companies are charging millions for advertisers to be on these magazines.
Why
is Nick so mad?
He's passionate. He clearly loves what he does. So I love it. I'm all here for it. But yeah, man, it's true. We don't really pay attention to it's not the same, right? Back in the days, MySpace and all this stuff, it was more, I would say more of a deep connection that you would have with people, right? You spend hours on Uvu, on AIM, MSN Messenger, all these things, emails, and now it's to the point where, it's just like a story or a comment. It's kind of less, it requires less effort. And I think the reason for this is because we are all kind of, at least our generation, has been used to instant gratification, right? Receiving that instant dopamine hit. That's why they make the like button so accessible. And that's why they basically manipulate these things and put ads in places because they know that we're gonna be there, and these algorithms have just gotten to the point where now they basically control us.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? You think that
Well, that's what these tech
do you
giants
think
are
do you
fighting
think
for.
do you think that you are a little bit too attached to your phone sometimes?
Yep.
Well, yeah, 100%. And
Yep.
tech companies are trying to take full advantage of that. So that's why Apple is building their own search engine, because
That's crazy.
They want you. They want to be involved in every single aspect of your
Everything.
life at all times.
They wanna control us.
Isn't Safari Apple search engine? Oh no.
No, it's a
Google-
browser.
yeah, yeah.
Safari, yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Safari is
Browser.
Apple's browser.
Search engine would be like Google.
Right,
Jeez.
but it's very likely that they're going to create their own search engine, and they're going to make that the default search engine for Safari, right? And Apple, I mean, right now Apple and Google have a partnership for Google to be the default search engine on all Apple devices, but that's going to change now
Yeah.
on all mobile Apple devices.
So you guys agreed that you are totally dependent to your phone. Would you say you're addicted?
I don't think
I
I've.
am.
I
For sure I am.
I
hate it.
sincerely am not
Nope.
addicted because
Nope.
I was conscious of it one day, and I decided to start detaching myself from it.
Right,
So
but it's still subconsciously. What
There'll
do you
be-
do when
there'll
you
I have a
wake up in
time
the
limit for
morning?
how many times I check social media throughout the day, and I mean it's crazy. Sometimes you literally check it once. You're gonna go on to Instagram for 2 seconds. You think you're gonna be on it for 2 seconds. You're gonna
You check a DM that you have, and then
Yeah.
you end up being.
Most
scrolling
people
for
are-
start
10
scrolling and
minutes.
scrolling and scrolling before you know it's been
Most
15
people don't
minutes.
have the same self-control that you have, or that I think I have. Although,
Yeah.
yes, it's important to be conscious of it, but a lot of times you're not. It's become kind of like an extension to our body, our phones.
Yeah.
And the
it's-
crazy thing
It's
about
a reminder. I have to tell myself a lot of times that your phone is a tool.
Yeah.
Your phone's a tool. It's
Yeah.
not your life. It's not social media. It's not your life. You don't have to,
Yeah.
keep
That is
in touch
very-
with everybody at all times.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
It
very
is-
important for you to use the technology that you have that's made life so much easier and so much more and has made information so much more accessible to you, using that to your advantage so that you can basically have control over your day-to-day life, not for technology to have control of your day-to-day life. So not for technology to basically control your brain and have you on basically this autopilot
Yeah.
all the time of basically distracting you throughout your entire day, because the majority of people don't realize how much it eats up at your time
Yeah.
throughout the day.
Yeah,
It adds
absolutely.
up.
Absolutely. And the crazy thing is that I'll spend hours on social media, and then the second I put it away, like
Right.
trying to remember what you just looked at, what you just did. You probably
Well,
don't.
yeah.
Probably don't. There's very few things that capture your attention. But the ones that do, there's a reason why. And that's what we want to get into today. What is the reason? What is setting creators, businesses, because we just admitted it. And I know if you're watching this, you're the same as us. Attached to your phone, dependent on your phone. As much as we hate to admit it, it's the fact of the matter. We are all addicted to our phones, and there's no way around it. So
Yep.
from a practical point, because the wave, we're all about bringing you value. From a practical point, we're gonna get into a couple reasons why video works for capturing attention. Because like I said in the beginning, before you can sell whatever business that you have, whether it's a product, a service, combination of both, you need to be able to capture attention before you can sell. How are you gonna sell if you don't have anybody's attention? And where's
Exactly.
everybody's attention? It's online.
Glued to their phones.
Now, yeah, exactly. And now, one important thing to note is that obviously, the fact that we're constantly on our phones and on all these digital devices, obviously the fact is that people are spending more and more time online, right?
Yeah.
People are spending more time consuming content, but the crazy part is that they're ignoring a lot of content. They're consuming a lot of content, and they're also ignoring a lot of content.
For sure.
But now more than ever, people are spending hours actually. I can't name the actual source right now, but there was a source that basically said that the average user is watching about 6.5 hours of video per week, and that's
6.5
online.
hours of video.
6.5 hours of video per week, but
I feel
that's
like I
not
do that each
including.
day.
That's not including
Well,
Netflix.
you're also
and-
editing videos and doing all that shit.
Yeah, that's not
I'm
including.
reading here in
that's not
2020,
including streaming services.
Around or a little bit over 3 hours people are spending on social media per day, which
Per day.
3 is not a high number, but with the time that you're awake, trying to be active and all that shit, 16
3,
hours,
yeah.
that's a
Right.
fifth of your day.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a fifth of your day.
But think about that. 6 hours of video. That's excluding streaming services. What does that mean? If people are spending 6 hours a week watching 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, maybe 20-minute videos, that's a lot of videos. People are watching a lot of videos every week.
Right.
Just add that up. 6 hours. Each video is an average of maybe 5 to 10 minutes. That's a shit ton of videos.
So let's get into it then. Like, why video? What is it about video, and how can people watching it, if you're a business owner, if you are a freelancer, or if you're simply just, maybe you're a student in college or in high school who's just trying to figure out what to do with their life, how can they use video, taking advantage of the fact that we are all so attached to our phones that we are consuming, what Dan said, 3 hours per day minimum of videos? How can we use that to the advantage? How can we compete against other people doing video? Because there's a lot of people, right? Mm-hmm. How many posts? Look it up. How many posts are going on Instagram per minute?
Yeah. Well,
a lot. So how do you stand out?
Millions.
How do you stand out? What are some tips that you can give us, Nick?
Well, especially especially in your industry, there's a lot of other people trying to win. There's a lot of competitors trying to win over people's attention. They're trying to beat you at getting people's attention, and they're always trying to come up with ways to find a new audience, grow their audience, and retain that audience, right?
95 million posts.
There's a lot of work. Yeah, wow.
95 million per day. So how on earth can Joe from the boba tea spot right here in the corner, how can he start using video to make his boba tea spot pop off?
Well, we're gonna go over the 4 main reasons why you need video and how to basically apply each of those points, each of those 4 points. Facets, that's a better word. How we're gonna apply each of those 4 facets into the videos that you create, so that your videos can actually stand out, people pay attention to them, and get you shares and get people talking about your brand or business.
And even
because that's
find
what you
out.
want.
You can even learn a little bit more about your business and about who you are as a brand, as a person,
right. Yes.
as a company by doing all this.
Yes,
100%.
And if you stay to the end, we're gonna also get into a couple creators that we look at for influence, and the things that they're doing that we started implementing that is helping us grow our business using video and using digital marketing strategies.
With video, you instantly have the opportunity to make a lasting impression. What does that mean? You have an opportunity to get in front of thousands of people, maybe millions of people, and say, hey, this is who I am and what I do and how I can help you.
Right.
And if you make a good enough first impression by communicating those messages to this potential audience who just found out about you, you have the opportunity to stay memorable and stay top of mind. So then the next time that they hear about you, or the next time that they see an ad from you, or the next time that they hear a friend talk about you, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah,
yes.
Wow, yeah, I saw that video. It was really good."
I like that.
Wow.
I like the word lasting impression, because if you're a business owner, you probably know that nobody is gonna, number one, work as hard as you do on your own business, and number two, you can't communicate the message, like what you stand for as a business. Nobody can do that better than yourself. So imagine if you can be there for, and tell every single person who is a potential customer, and you can talk to them face to face and tell them why your business is valuable and why they should choose you over everybody else. You can't do that. You can't be at multiple places at once. But with video, you can, right? Because video gives us the opportunity to communicate these messages and then mass deliver them to everybody using the Facebook ad platform to be specific, in order to be at multiple places at once. And that's the beauty of video. I always say it like this: what's going to be more effective? You gentlemen or women, ladies who are,
whomever,
who
viewers,
maybe who you've been in love. Everybody here has been in love, hopefully, except for Nick, right? Yeah. Nick is heartless.
Not yet.
But what do you think is more effective? If I wrote you a letter that says I love you and I hand it over or leave it in your mailbox, yeah, it's cute. Sure, it might make you smile. If I took a selfie, blow you a kiss in a selfie, and put it the caption, I love you. Or if I look you in the eyes, slow things down, and I say, baby, I love you. What is going to make more of an impact? Fellas?
Well, I think the latter.
The latter, right?
I think it's pretty obvious.
I'm not interested in you.
It wasn't for you, Dan. It was for Manuela.
Well, guys, look. Let's give a good example. So, let's say that you're a recruiter at a job fair, at a career fair, right? At a university, right?
FIU, alma mater.
Yeah. Let's just say you're a recruiter at a university, and you're a finance recruiter, right? And you have all these seniors who are about to graduate, who have the opportunity to speak to multiple different recruiters, including yourself, to see if they'd be interested in an opportunity, in a position with your company once they graduate, right? So as a recruiter, at that job fair, you might see what? You might see like 100 students that day, right? 100 students are going to come up to you, shake your hand, you guys are going to talk a little bit, and then you're going to tell them a little bit about the job, and then, eventually they're going to apply, and then you're going to end up seeing their application 2 weeks from now, right? You have one student who was just came up to you, just instantly established good rapport with you, gave you really good eye contact, gave you a firm handshake, and was very, very well, just very well presented, and spoke very, very eloquently, and just somebody who just stood out among all the other students, right? Just because of his tonality, his or her tonality, the way they spoke, their knowledge, and just their friendliness. They had that inviting vigor to them, right? Who's gonna stand out more, that person, or is it gonna be the several other students who approached you, shook their hand, quickly, but they seemed a little bit shy and introverted, and they just asked you basic questions. They asked you the exact same questions versus the other student who asked you different questions that you may not have heard before. Who's gonna have made a better impression? The shy and introverted person, or the person who had excellent tonality, who just basically stood out among the other students?
Exactly. So it's obviously the more eloquent.
Right answer.
It's only right answer, and everybody
exactly.
knows that.
So with video, it's the same thing. With video, you instantly have the opportunity to do that. You have the opportunity to get in front of the right person, your potential customer, because that's the right person, the person who you want to pay money to your business later on. You're gonna get in front of this person, and are you gonna blow them out of the water, right? Actually, I don't think that's the right expression. But are you gonna basically, are you gonna put yourself in front of the right person and basically make yourself stand out by giving a great first impression, or are you just gonna be like the thousands of other businesses in your niche who are just showing basic ads, basic videos, basic content,
basic pictures?
Basic pictures or basic graphics, or who are just basically just trying to sell you, just basically trying to sell all the time, and just kind of having this like salesy language to it.
Exactly. Yeah, basically,
and there's nothing interesting about their business.
With all the time spent online and on social media, the 3 hours that you spend per day, you're seeing a lot of stuff. 95 million posts that go up per day. Like, you're seeing a lot of stuff. There's a lot of content being put out there. So with the 1 minute max that you have to like wow somebody, you need to put your all like pedal to the metal. You need to get all facets of your personality, of your brand, of who you are, of how you can be remembered, and really recall your brand and product recall on there in that minute that you have.
Yeah, so here, I think that's a perfect opportunity to throw this little tip in. Do not use fluff. Eliminate all the fluff. Anything that you're trying to communicate, look it over before you publish it. Eliminate anything that you repeated, anything that doesn't support the message, get rid of it. And that's another important tip right here. Two for one special right now. Make sure you have a message. A lot of people try and communicate multiple things with one video, right? We're the #1 company in Miami. We have a new special going on. We've been in business since this long. We're servicing this area. Like, all these things, they're confuse you, right?
Nobody's going down and writing down the checklist of all the things I have to do.
Exactly. So have a clear message with every single one of your videos. That's one thing. And I think we should move on to the second point now, which is...
So the second point is to build an emotional connection with your audience. Establish an emotional connection with your audience.
Love it. So how do we do that?
Which is directly correlated from
get to know
making
your
a great
audience.
first impression.
That's huge.
Right.
Know your audience.
So after you've made a good first impression, now you can either do this simultaneously while making a good first impression, or you could do it, the second time that a person comes across your brand, or the third time, right? let's say whether it's an ad that you're serving them and you're serving them a second ad after the first one, or now they've engaged with you in the past because of something that you showed them, or their friend heard something about your business, and now they're just coming across you again, whether it's on social media, whether it's through a Google ad, whether it's on YouTube, or wherever else. Establishing an emotional connection with your audience, right? Why do people buy products and services? They don't buy products and services just because it's good quality. All right, maybe
might need it.
Some people do. If it's out of pure necessity, like I need deodorant. That's a necessity for me.
Okay, you need deodorant, but on top of needing deodorant makes you feel clean. Gives you the confidence to go up to the girl you're crushing on, and put your arm around her and say, "What's up, mommy? How you doing?" Like without deodorant, you don't have that. You don't feel confident. You don't feel good. So video is a
maybe
great
that
opportunity.
wasn't the best example, because actually now thinking about it, Old Spice is doing a killer job with their video marketing.
How dare you?
Was that football player?
Shaquille O'Neal.
No, man.
He
Tom
played
Brady.
for the Broncos.
Ted Cruz?
Von Miller.
Ted Cruz, no.
Von Miller.
Von Miller,
Von Miller.
the Old Spice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the big Jack Black guy. All right.
Oh, whoa.
No,
All right, we get
say
it.
that.
No, but listen. The point is that videos allow us to make an emotional connection. And the thing about us humans is that, we don't buy products because we need them, right? We don't buy the best or the cheapest, or, maybe that's a factor that goes into our decision, but at the end of the day, we're going to buy from the brands that we're connecting with. And video allows you to do that. Why video? Because a photo and a piece of text doesn't allow you to set the tone, right? I mean, you can set the tone, but not as effectively as with video, because video, you have different elements. You have colors, you have music, you have motion, you have, all these things, right? Like if you're ever watching a scary movie and if you watch it without the audio, it's not as scary. It's because music has that effect on us. It's a part of the storytelling, and storytelling is something that us humans are addicted to. We can't live without it. Ever since the first human number one, they've been telling stories. Started with cave drawings.
Was it Adam?
Adam, yeah. Adam, didn't Adam write the Bible?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. But we've been telling stories. You saw the cave drawings. You saw the hieroglyphics with the Egyptians. Now we have these works of art. Steven Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino. You name the director. Like we're seeing movies in high definition, in 3D, in what's that big screen, IMAX, like. But it's all the same thing. It's storytelling. It's the way that we communicate. Yep. If it wasn't for stories, we wouldn't be able to connect, to continue growing. I think even if it wasn't for stories, we probably wouldn't exist as a species.
You wouldn't know your heritage. You wouldn't know your great grandma.
Not just that, but how would we pass down? Right. How would we pass down history? Right. How will we avoid making the mistakes we made in the past? Burning ourselves with fire. Yeah. Like, how?
Right now, but why do stories do such a good job of establishing an emotional connection with the person watching or listening to or reading the story? Because stories, obviously, they evoke certain emotions, right?
Right.
And people either relate to that story, whether they've experienced it in the past or because they want to experience it. It's something that what they're reading in the story, what they're the type of message that they're getting out of that story is something that they want for themselves in their life, right? Mm-hmm. Or because it's just something that just reminds them of something good, right? It makes them feel good, right? So with video, if a video can basically, you don't have to tell an entire story. We're not talking about, there's different forms of storytelling. We're not talking about giving your whole A to Z story and creating a movie. It's not about that. It's about understanding how even in the shortest clip, you can give little bits of what makes you, what makes you unique, what makes you, why you do what you do.
Let me get into it real quick.
If you could make somebody...
Real quick.
Yeah, all right.
Going on with the story, like obviously you don't have to tell us your whole life story. We don't, that's not what we're trying to do right now.
That's the
what you're trying to do is what are the things, what are the factors that make up a story? Number one is it has a main character. That main character is your audience. It's not yourself. A lot of people try and put their business as the main character. You ain't the main character.
Yeah, because you're gonna be selling the product, the problem you solve.
The main character is your audience. So if you can find a way to put them as the main character, make them feel like it's their story, not yours, then
They
you're
end
gonna
up
win.
winning and you end up winning.
You both win because you're getting sales and they end
Yeah.
up feeling fulfilled. So it's the main character. It's the guide, which is
But
yourself.
Before you continue, I want to just continue with that main character thing really quickly. Just a quick example, an incredible example. Have you guys heard of Jared Fogle?
The Subway guy.
The Subway guy.
Huh.
Subway.
Jared from Subway. Yes.
It was this guy who was like 300 pounds overweight.
He was plentiful.
He was like 300 pounds overweight,
He was robust.
and all he was doing, he just started eating a Subway sub every day, right? And then
Subway sub?
yeah, Subway sub. He started having Subway every day, and then all of a sudden the guy he lost what, like 300 pounds,
Yeah.
and they made him the face of Subway. He's a customer. They
Yeah.
made him the face of Subway. He started coming out on all the Subway commercials
Because he lost all that weight.
because he lost all that weight.
And then he went ahead and like did something and like raped a kid or like
He's
touched
a
somebody in
convicted
the
Yeah.
sex
third
offender.
Well, that's not the point. Yeah, he's in jail now.
Don't
But-
be like Jared from Subway, guys.
No, don't be like Jared from Subway, but
But
be
tell
like-
stories.
But be as smart as Subway.
Tell the stories like
Subway was smart, man. They exploded
Yes.
their sales by. You can look it up. Look it up right now. I don't know by
This is
how
another,
much.
this is
their-
another
their
example why
revenue-
client testimonials are the bee's knees.
Yep. You
Yep.
need them.
Yep.
So
Anyway, on to the
so
next point.
so the what makes up a story? We have the character, we have the guide, which is yourself.
The villain,
right?
which is
You-
the problem that they're going through.
the
that
villain,
they're gonna
right? What are they
overcome.
struggling with? What are their pain points? You got to make that clear in the story, right? In Jared's case, the pain point is
Being overweight.
he's fat.
Obesity.
he's fat as shit.
He was.
Poor guy, you know, like people struggle with that. That's a pain point. Make sure you make that clear. The other thing is the plot, right? You need a plot. So where are you in the story? Like what is the setting? Let them know. I don't know. I forgot what the plot is. I didn't come prepared for this part. But anyways,
Well,
story.
The plot is obviously just. Listen, we'll give you guys a good example. A really good friend of ours. She started a swimwear company.
Yes.
Right? She started a bikini company. This girl is freaking killing it, man. I'm not gonna say what her name is or what the name of the brand
It's
is.
Nina.
All right. Well, if he wants to say, if he wants to share with you guys, it's Nina from 7Seas Swimwear.
That's my ex.
Shout out to Nina from 7Seas Swimwear, dude. She's killing it, man.
Mm-hmm.
All she did was she was very consistent with her messaging, just putting out tons of video content, video after video after video after video, until one day she literally just went from A to Z of how she puts together all these materials for her bikinis, basically where she sources them from, how she comes up
Telling
with her
the story of her brand.
how she comes up with her creative designs, and people freaking loved it.
Right.
The video went viral, got I don't know how many millions of views, and this
Yes.
girl just started making, she just started selling thousands of
Popping
bikinis overnight.
Right.
Yeah, and now this girl is on her way to
Right.
becoming a pretty.
It helps. It helps that she's a great designer
Yeah.
and that the quality is good
Yeah.
and that the price, it's not the cheapest, but it's also not the most expensive.
Right.
So these are all things that
Who's
help.
handling her content?
We are. Thank you very much. But it's
7Seas
not.
Media,
It's
7Seas
not.
Media.
It's not these aspects. Like a lot of business owners, they're trying to sell quality, price. We're the best in America. We do this. Like that stuff doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's a
Makes
story.
sense.
People bought and Nina popped off because people connected. They formed that emotional connection
100%.
with her story.
And because of that emotional connection, guess what? The perceived value of her product
Yep.
significantly exceeded what the actual price value was. So that's why people are willing to pay $150 for her bikinis,
Yes.
because they see
All right.
the value in it.
So let's go.
On to the next.
We got to keep it moving. So the third reason why you need video as part of your digital marketing strategy, because the landscape is evolving, and why it's so
Right.
important, is because
Yeah, establishing the emotional connection brings us to that point. It's directly correlated because you build the emotional connection, and now people trust you. So that's
ding
point
ding
number
ding
three.
ding ding. Why is trust so important? I
You
feel
don't
like,
want to do business with somebody
Build
you don't trust,
trust
man.
with potential customers. That's point number 3.
and how do you do that with video? What kind
Video,
of videos?
I think to our audience watching this video, you can clearly understand why video does such a good job of building trust with your audience, right? Let's go back to the classic infomercial. The classic infomercials that used to work so well.
What is
back
that
in the
guy?
day-
That guy, the
back
one
in
with
the day, you-
ShamWow
I'm
infomercials.
not sure.
You're not familiar with ShamWow?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But you have a guy who's very, who's very, who just looks good on camera, right? And
Like me.
he's making great eye contact at the camera, right? And this guy's just explaining A to Z of how this product solves your problem and just going step by step how it does it and why it's so good, and just shows it in a very natural and authentic way. A lot of infomercials might have been a little salesy, but we're talking about we're talking about the infomercials that actually work, which has been a lot of them.
Yeah.
They've done such a good job at really creating buzz around this product that they're holding and immediately establishing trust, right? Because it's the guy, a lot of the times it's the guy who created the product, it's the founder, right? So you're seeing the face behind the brand.
Exactly.
And he's talking about his product, and you can see how passionate he is about his product.
Right.
And he's just showing it off, and he's saying all these good things about it. What happens? You build trust. That's why the infomercials work so well.
Yeah, so another more practical, more relevant, more now example, because the infomercial is great for selling, right? But another way to build trust is you don't have to sell. For example, what we're doing here right now, this podcast, it's a video podcast, it's a show, whatever you want to call it. We're not selling you anything.
Just a good time.
We're just here giving you value and kind of showing you our personalities, showing you that
Right.
we are knowledgeable in our industry, and most likely you now trust us. Okay? So trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me, please.
Well,
Never trust somebody saying trust me.
let's give them a good example, an actual real life example that they can apply, right?
Yes.
So, your business, you want to build trust with your audience. Let's just say that you're a local restaurant, and you've recently taken a hit. Let's say for some reason
I'm sure there's many of you out there.
Let's say you've gotten a lot of bad Yelp reviews or a lot of bad Google reviews, right? Like just negative reviews.
Or
for your
you're on the
business.
butt end of like a global pandemic or something.
Or
Yeah.
you're on the butt end of a global pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Something
hopefully it's not
random
the
just came
case
to
for you. But let's just say that you have these negative reviews, right? Or you're going through some sort of difficulty with your business, right? And now you're like, wow, I gotta pivot. You need to find a way to pivot so that people can still trust you despite those negative reviews. If you can put together a video, right, not just one video, but you create a whole strategy around it where now you can basically create multiple videos. If you show the chefs in the kitchen telling their backstory, their experience, how they got into what's the term? What's the term for? I think it's
Gastronomy.
astronomy. Yes,
No,
thank you.
gastronomy.
Gastronomy.
Yeah.
Yeah, not astronomy.
Or the
That's the
culinary
outer
arts.
space thing. Yeah. So if your chef from your restaurant basically can show his passion behind gastronomy and how he got into it,
Yep.
and basically why he's so passionate about cooking, and you're basically getting really good
Like
footage,
a Salt Bay.
really good footage in the kitchen. You know how the meals are being prepared. And then the
Right.
whole experience from the time that the food runner comes up to the kitchen, grabs the tray, serves it to the customer, smiles at the customer. There's a little bit of back and forth small talk for a second. If you can show the atmosphere inside of the restaurant, and you can showcase, all these well presented servers that are really getting along with the customers, and you have the whole environment inside of the restaurant, and there's like really nice lighting and really nice decoration. If you can show off the vibe, and you put that video out there repetitively to your local audience who may have come across the negative reviews on Yelp or Google, chances are that person's gonna see those videos or the one video and be like, damn, you know what? Like, I don't care about the negative reviews. This place looks cool. I want to check them out.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. At the end of the day, there's no one specific way to build trust, right? Like, how do you build trust with the person? By spending time with them. So simply just documenting your journey, showing some behind the scenes of what's going on. Like maybe your stuff, your actual day-to-day is not as exciting as maybe ours is. We're working with models and restaurants and stuff like that. Maybe you can't show behind the scenes. The lights just went off. What? I think we're using too much energy. All right, guys. So sorry about that. We did have some technical difficulties, but we're back. And
Still 7Cs.
with not 1
Still
minute
the
to
wave.
spare. We were talking about the importance of video, and we gave you so far 3 out of 4
Right.
practical reasons why video is so important for your business. We said that number 1, it allows you to make a lasting impression. First impressions are key. And you want to be multiple places at once. Get your message out to as far as an audience as you can, and video is the perfect way to do that. We talked about how video allows you to build an emotional connection, right? If you've ever shed a tear during a movie, it's because the filmmaker was able to manipulate all the elements, the music, the sound, the colors, to make you feel some type of way. The story.
And the actors, yeah.
And we talked about the ability to be able to build trust, right? Just being present, being there. The same way that I'm able to trust these guys, which Dan I've known my whole life. Nick, I just met, but I feel like I can trust him tremendously because of all the time that we spent together. And video is the way to show the parts that are not, the pretty edited photos that we post on social media. This is the part that we allow to actually build trust.
People won't give you money until they trust you.
Right. And that takes us to our final point, which is what I like to call that video allows you to give your brand a sense of theater. How Nick put it here, it allows you to be fun and exciting for layman terms. But I like the term sense of theater because if you look at a company like Apple, right? Why is it that they're so successful? Is it because they have good products? Maybe, right? I love Apple, the integration between iCloud and my desktop and my phone and my laptop and my earphones. I love that.
The sense of community that they
I love that. That's great. But outside of that, if you've ever seen, what do they call them? The keynote?
The keynote.
Yeah, the keynote
conferences.
Yeah, the keynote.
The conference, when they reveal their new iPhones or new products, these things are a cinematic masterpiece, right? I follow filmmakers on YouTube, and
this year especially now we couldn't do stuff because
this
of COVID.
year's was crazy, man. The
Absolutely
transitions, the lighting, the cameras, everything that they used was amazing, and that's why, obviously Samsung, Motorola, whatever other company nowadays, I don't even know, whatever they're doing, maybe they have good products. I'm sure Galaxy users will tell you that Galaxy is the best. But do you see people camping outside for 3 days right before the launch of a new Galaxy? No, and that's because Samsung has the ability to make this sense of theater.
Apple, not Samsung.
Apple, sorry about that. Apple has been able to basically turn their company into a freaking movie. Yeah, man. Right? Like all their commercials.
They implemented everything that they stand for, which is creatives thinking differently and creating, and that's all that Apple does.
Right.
They're the masters. They're the head and shoulders above everybody else in what it is that they do, and it's thinking differently, creating.
Right. And this part kind of we put it at the end because it is an umbrella for the other points, right? If you can be fun, if you can get a laugh out of somebody, most likely you're building the trust. If you can get a laugh out of somebody, you're already building that emotional connection, joy, right? You're making a lasting impression because if somebody comes in, first time you meet them with a big smile, makes you laugh, all this stuff, you're eventually gonna last.
Right.
And
or if you motivate or inspire them, motivation is a very positive emotion, right?
Exactly.
Motivation or any other positive emotion that you can bring about using video. You're gonna basically make all that happen. And then one major thing with the making yourself seem fun and exciting, movie trailers. Don't you guys love watching movie trailers?
I do.
Yes.
I love movie trailers, man. I remember
I would spend hours watching movie trailers instead of watching an actual movie.
They do such a good job of building hype around the upcoming release. It could be the shittiest movie ever, but if it's a really good trailer, you're gonna think it's gonna be the most hilarious comedy of the entire year.
Right.
If it's a horror movie, they build suspense around it. You're like, oh wow, I gotta go watch this with my friends. Wow, this movie looks terrifying.
That's what you can do with video because you have to take advantage of the 2 minutes that somebody's watching that trailer to invest 2 hours to watch the movie plus an hour to prep and get all the snack prepared and have the experience that you want them to have with your movie. With
So
whole journey.
So those are the 4 points, right? We'll go over them real quick. Number 1 is you make a lasting impression. Number 2 is that you're able to connect on an emotional level. Number 3
is that you build trust with your audience.
So you build trust.
I don't know if this was like
and with potential customers.
And number 4,
be fun and exciting because you don't want to be boring. You don't want to be boring, right, Dan? Yeah. Dan's not boring. That's why I like Dan.
So now that you guys know why you need video, you probably feel like a dummy for not using video. So
go out and do it.
We're gonna
get up
before going out and do it. We're gonna talk a little bit about how we do it, and how to use video, what type of video specifically in your marketing funnel. Nick, real quick, tell us how a marketing funnel, what it is and how it works.
Well, if you guys are not familiar with marketing funnels, which I'm sure a lot of you are, it's just basically you're either gonna go through customer acquisition, where you're gonna go out and find new customers, and then you're gonna go through this whole process of basically retaining them and then creating long-term business for yourself, right? So it all starts with awareness, right? Awareness of your brand, and basically introducing yourself so that people know who you are, right? Then after awareness, as people get to know your brand a little bit more, and now they're familiar with your name, now they start to consider you, right? Which is now it's called the consideration phase, right? So that's middle funnel. Once the customer's in middle funnel, there's multiple messaging points that you can hit them with in order for them to continuously consider your product or service, right? So in the consideration funnel, that's where you want to focus a lot of your efforts on, because this is where you have the opportunity to basically encourage them to buy from you, right? And then at the very bottom of the funnel, obviously we have conversion, the sale, which is the conversion, right?
Yes.
So we have awareness, we have consideration, and then we have the sale at the very bottom, which is action. They're going to take an action, and basically the only way that they're going to take this action is if they were aware of your brand in the first place, and they were aware of your brand from a positive spotlight, right? They looked at your brand as a brand that they can associate with, that they can resonate with. They considered it. They thought what you had to offer was valuable enough for them and worth it for them to go in and visit you again. And then you have the conversion, which is basically now they buy from you. And then after that comes every other effort that you're going to do to make them a repeat customer.
And if you're doing it right, if you're doing it correctly, and you implement a good system like you have been helping us do, then you really don't have to do much to keep that going, to keep that funnel flowing, keep channeling people.
Right, but why do we need a funnel? Why? Because I asked myself the question, and I'm just going to go ahead and answer it, because I feel like you guys missed that part, which is because most people, I think like 96 or 7% of people aren't ready to buy on the first interaction, right?
Yep.
That's why you need funnels, because, right, you don't just go up to a random girl at the bar and you say, hey, you want to get married? That's freaking weird, and most likely she's gonna spill her drink on you, or she's gonna call the cops or something.
Yeah, it hasn't worked.
Same thing when it comes to marketing, like you need a funnel, because you need to first make an impression. As Nick said, we talked about the funnel. Make an impression, then build the trust, and then finally convince them why you're better than everybody else.
Exactly.
To do it.
Exactly.
So that's why you need the funnel. And now we're gonna go into specifically how we can use video and what type of videos for each step of the funnel. And we're also gonna have Nick tell us a little bit about how we can use Facebook ads platform to leverage these videos to impact more, and
you could use Facebook. You could use YouTube ads.
And to track, right? The most important thing is to be able to track, because what most business owners are doing is they're creating content, and we know, trust me, we know how time-consuming content creation is. So imagine spending all this time creating content and then not getting any actual data, anything that to report, how many people are viewing, how we can increase our cost or decrease our cost per click, our cost per impression, all these things. We're gonna get into that right now. Starting with the awareness phase. So what kind of videos would you say are mostly effective for the awareness phase?
Yeah, for sure. So for the awareness phase, let's say you're a product, you sell a product. For awareness, you basically I'm going to give you 3 examples. Example A is that you can basically show product usage, right? You can show an actual real life customer, real life person using a product. If it's a cool kitchen gadget, you have somebody in their kitchen who's like doing all these things with the gadget. You have all these close-ups of the gadget and what it does, and it's clearly illustrating what it does. And that's how basically, I don't know if you guys are familiar with crowdfunding companies, but basically all these crowdfunding companies, what they do is that they basically get tons of people interested in an idea. They think it's a cool enough idea, and you can get thousands of people to become investors in your company.
Yeah.
They're going to be shareholders eventually, but these crowdfunding companies, the successful ones, that's what they do. To create awareness, they showcase product usage and how innovative it's going to be, and that instantly makes your brand top of mind for the next time that you're going to target that same person.
So product films. I think product films are super important because, like you said, for like the kitchen gadget, right? Let's give it a name. An espresso machine. You know, we made a couple Nespresso. I think Nick had like 3 Nespressos this morning. Freaking caffeine addict. If you want to sell it to let's say, for example, let's pick a specific audience, to moms with young children, right? This product film showing a young mom, you know, you get a model or a friend or whatever, or yourself if you're a young mother.
Kids.
You put yourself in that situation, you make the Nespresso, you show it, you see how happy the kids are, you get in the van and you do all these things. It gives this person, it basically is the closest thing to like trying it for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you address the pain points of you're a busy mom, you're a mom with kids. The quickest way is to pop it in an espresso of quality coffee that you don't have to put together a whole latte. You just pop it in, press the button, coffee's done, selling, on the go.
Right?
Yeah.
Here we're not selling. In these product films, we're not saying buy now. We're simply just expressing an idea and trying to relay and trying to connect, trying to build the awareness.
Yeah, and so I'll give you another example. So I was going to give them 3 examples, right? So example B would be, let's say now I'm the creator of Keurig, right? Let's say I'm the creator of Nespresso. Right, and as a great awareness campaign is, you just see basically, you know, a child. I don't know what his story is. I don't know what his real story is. Let's say the video is a child in a coffee farm, cherry picking, right? And then it cuts to a coffee roaster, and they're at a coffee roaster, and then the whole time there's a voiceover, and it's the owner narrating his passion behind the brand. And then at the very end, and this is how Nespresso came to life. I've been at this for 20 years. This is my passion. We are Nespresso. Introduction video. They're introducing the brand.
So brand film.
It's a brand film. Exactly. That's a brand film.
Okay. So let's get a little bit into specifics, because I want people to get out of this like actually have a template that they can use and start making videos tomorrow. So for the awareness phase, we're gonna use product films, and how long do you think these should be? Especially if we're gonna run ads. If we're gonna run ads and we're gonna do an awareness campaign. Or a video views campaign. First of all, tell us why awareness campaign and why video views.
Well, here's the thing. So here's a golden nugget right here. So on social media, you don't want video ads to be too long, right? Because people's attention span is very short, right?
Yes.
So you want videos to be 15 seconds long. It sounds short, but trust me, you can pack a good amount of information.
If you have a good content creation company, they can do it. Trust me.
They can 100% do it. 15 seconds long, that's all it takes to really get somebody to go, wow, it's a cool brand.
Yeah.
And then move on with their life. But the next time they come across you, they're going to remember you because that video was so good. Now, if you're doing a YouTube ad, the YouTube ad can be over a minute long. I wouldn't go over 2 minutes. I would say the sweet spot would be 30 seconds to 2 minutes long if it's on YouTube. A good metric, if you're running YouTube ads, is to actually track a percentage of the video watched, and you're actually only paying for when a user watches more than 30 seconds of the video. So if a person skips through the video before 30 seconds, don't worry, you're not going to get charged. You only get charged if the person watches at least 30 seconds.
And what's beautiful about that is that if a person watches at least 30 seconds of your video, you know that they're at least interested. Maybe they're not ready to buy right away, but they're at least interested because they watched that. And what's the cool part about it is that now you can retarget these people.
You can retarget all of your.
You can't do that without the Facebook platform.
Well, that brings you another golden nugget right here. So let's say you have the example number 3, which would be, now let's say you have a third awareness video that's a little bit more, the process behind your company. So basically, we already talked about product usage. We talked about the brand film, and now let's say you want to show a cool process behind how your brand is created.
An explainer video.
Right. Now let's say you're a restaurant, right? You're putting all the sazon and you're putting all the ingredients and you're putting it all together, and like it's just wow, like this whole meal comes to life in your kitchen from the moment that you receive the ingredients to how it gets served to the customer. That's basically like a process style ad where you're basically showing all the steps that it takes for you to create a quality product or a quality service. You show that as a third option, and let's just say that on YouTube you've shown all three of these ads, and let's say you've been running them for over a month, and you get a few thousand video viewers who've each watched 30% or more 30 seconds or more of your ad.
Yeah.
You could literally retarget 5,000, 10,000, or whatever the audience number is. You can target a few thousand people who watched at least 30 seconds of all 3 of your videos. What does that tell you? Now you've created a very high intent audience. That's when you basically went lower in the funnel, and now you've created warmer prospects for yourself. Now you have warm leads. They're not leads yet, but now you have a warm audience who has seen all 3 of your videos, and on top of that, they watched at least 30 seconds of those 3 videos. So now I would say they're not just a warm audience, they're a pretty hot audience. I mean, they're interested in what you have because they saw all 3 videos and they saw at least 30 seconds of them.
So what do we do with that information? Now that we have this audience that is already interested, we've already hit them with our awareness video. Now it's time to take them to the next step down our funnel, which is the consideration. So what are some strategies that we can use there?
So actually, for the consideration phase of the funnel, you can actually use the same videos that you use in awareness, because consideration basically is now you're basically showing the same ad, or you're showing the same video, or organically if the person ends up engaging with your channel, with your page, with your profile, and then basically starts following you, or basically comes across you on social media, and you post the same video organically. Let's say now they go back and they watch the same video. They liked it the first time, but now they go back and watch it again, and chances are that they watched it more than once, because when you're running these campaigns, a lot of the times people will watch it a little bit more frequently because they'll get targeted more frequently. So now they'll be seeing the same video, but this time they're a lot more familiar with your brand. This time they like that video so much that they're seeing it again a week later, and now maybe they started doing a little bit more research after you had the awareness video, right? They did their research, they started looking up other companies. They haven't been served another video as unique as your video.
Yeah.
So now you have a similar video or the same video. They're like, wow, you know what? I might consider this brand now. That would be the first one. The other one would be the other one would be a little bit more sales focused. A little bit more sales focused, where you're not talking about a specific promotion. You're not saying 20% off. You're not using that sort of terminology, but you're basically just showcasing your service or your product a little bit more.
So some other considerations type videos, Dan. What are the things that we use
for consideration
as far as 7Seas Media goes?
I mean, I would say
consideration or nurturing. You can also consider the middle of the funnel nurturing, right? Building that trust.
Yeah. So for consideration, I would really just go about what would you think? Like answering the questions that maybe they think that they would have towards your product or towards your service, any uncertainties, seeing how other people reacted to it, or showing the ease of use of what your product or service is, or how it could help them. So how would you classify that?
So what are we doing in 7Seas Media? Videos that are driving consideration. This podcast is another example of it. See how we can repurpose all of these things? We have our vlogs, which is the Wave 9 to 5. That's our vlog series that we put on YouTube every single week. So it's a form of not selling, right? We're not at the sales process yet, so we are basically just nurturing the audience by taking them behind the scenes, giving them an inside look at our company, building this trust, building this rapport with them, and basically just staying top of mind with this type of stuff. And vlogs are awesome, and it doesn't have to be the most cinematic. Maybe you don't have the budget to make vlogs once a week or once a month or whatever. Instagram Live, YouTube.
So you would say at this consideration stage is just pumping stuff out and making sure that you're top of mind.
Giving value and staying top of mind.
Right. Now, here's another huge thing that you can do during the consideration phase. Like this is huge. If you're able to provide any sort of value up front without asking for a sale, let's say you're a fitness coach, right? Let's just say you're a fitness coach as an example. And let's say you offer a free ebook, right? A free ebook that tells you the top 10 fat burning secrets that you've never heard of. Let's just say.
So how do you get all that?
10 ways to boost your metabolism instantly, right? Start losing weight right now, right? That's going to catch your attention. So let's say you already saw this fitness coach's awareness video. You saw another one of their videos, and now you're watching another completely different video where they're actually coming to you on video, and they're saying, I got this ebook, It's yours for free. I want to show you what's in it. Download it. You're not asking for anything. You're offering them something totally for free.
Right.
So chances are they're going to go in that. That's called content marketing.
And then when it gets to the point that they are ready to buy whenever they need it,
Yeah,
because it's on their time.
When is that you get to sales?
Now once you have provided value, now you are their go-to. Once they're ready, you have to make sure that you give them the offer, right? Because a lot of people expect these sales to come out of nowhere. No, that's why you need these final bottom of the funnel type videos, which is videos that have a direct call to action. So it would be click here now and receive 30% off, etc. There's multiple ways of doing it. We're running out of time, so we will have to leave that for another episode. But the one thing you should know about these these bottom of the funnel videos, is that you need to have a direct call to action. And that's it. I mean, we officially run out of time. I wish we could stay here and talk more, but unfortunately we cannot.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that there. Nick, Dan, thank you very much for giving us your time, your value. This is awesome. This has been the 10th episode of The Wave, and tune in because we have a lot more stuff planning. Yeah. 2021 is our year, baby.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you guys.
Like, subscribe, share, and we love you.
Facts.
We love you guys.